Hello, awesome people. I hope you're having a great day today. Today we're taking a look at another thing in the Eternal Champion collection that I've recently been doing a deep dive into that's mostly written by Michael Moorcock, and this is a collection of short stories called Pawn of Chaos. It was published in the 90s, in 1996, and it has all stories that were published for it by various authors. It's like 20 or so, including one by Michael Moorcock, which I read last night. This collection was published in the 90s by Borelius. I'll link you to it in the comments below and so forth. As a reminder, when Michael Moorcock started creating the Eternal Champion stuff, which is his classic work, seminal work, heavily influential, it was something that he would regularly have people in other arts and so forth write about. So it's something that he allowed other people to sort of to write or use as things like the chaos symbol that he created for chaos and other things like Games Workshop's Chaos Warriors and such like that. So, you know, he definitely allowed a lot of people to play and so forth. And this is another example of that, a collection of stuff that's been written and by a bunch of people and so forth. So again, I got this collection when I was doing a deep dive into the Eternal Champion stuff about 20 years or so when I was back in college, and he was my favorite author for about 5 years, the last 3 years of high school, when I discovered his Dorian Hawkmoon stuff, and then the first 2 years of college when I was buying a lot of these collections and doing a deep dive into it and so forth. But I never actually read it because it wasn't by Michael Moorcock, right? So the first short story, 10 pages long, I read it last night in like 15 minutes, so it's pretty fast. Been in this oversized collection, so I'll link you to it again in the comments below. It's fast. It's called Sir, Milk, and Blood. And it's so basically what's happening in it is that we have two main characters that have just recently are part of an underground terrorist group that have just had a bombing happening in a local train stop. And there are the two survivors from that bombing, and then a lot of people died and such. And now the public knows who they are. And so, you know, in the first 2 or 3 pages, we'll find out what's happened and so forth, and they're on the run. Now the public knows who they are. They reached out to the group and for support and so forth, and it's on the way. So that's what's happening. So that's who these people are and such. Now the title, Sir Milk and Blood, comes from a tale of a character who works with this, who's an albino with blood with red eyes. So they call him Sir Milk for the albino's skin and blood, for his eyes that are red, which is definitely reminiscent of Elric's, who's also, you know, a member of the Eternal Champion, and one of the biggest characters in very, very, very popular, had a huge hit on public media and so forth. So he was a huge character and so forth, and so he's in this clearly, since that's his identifications, Sir Milk and Blood. For that, he is, you know, again, one of the most popular characters. He has a sword called Stormbringer, which drains people's souls and gives them stronger life. It's like the size of him, right? And so from both of those are icons and heavily influential and stuff. You can definitely see Elric in Tritsto Erden, another popular character, about 25 years later, another generational popular thing, because he like Tritsto are born of evil humanoid races. Him, the Mole and the Beans, and Tritz, the Drow, and they have conscience. Although I would say that, you know, that Elric is more of an anti-hero who will do bad things for the good cause, whereas you know, Tritz is more of a hero, right? So he will definitely not do evil for the advancement of good, right? So he is, you know, so I would say he's more of a just a regular hero, sort of stakes, you know, and he's also a ranger like Aragorn. So in my reviews, I've said that he combines rangers like Aragorn with Elric. So in one character, and that's why I think he was popular, because those are both key characters that were popular in their icons and in the universities, right, and so forth. And so you're going to get that too. So I think this is fine. It's fast. It's interesting. It doesn't go nowhere that you weren't seeing. Well, like there's no surprises here, anything like that, but it's fine to go back and visit Moorcock's classic character in a different context. So there you are. I'll go ahead and leave you to it. It's like a 7 out of 10. It's fine. It's worth your time. But it's not this amazing thing. You can go places that you weren't going to see it, right, and such. So there you are. So again, I'm giving this a 7 out of 10 for you folks. As a reminder, Michael Moorcock's Eternal Champion is a multiversal conflict between law and chaos. And on each plane, it's the first multiverse concept. He also creates that word too, and then he's also it has between law and chaos, not good versus evil. That's the sort of key thing. Like I said, it's heavily influential on modern fantasy. You can't read it without reading his stuff, particularly the law versus chaos aspects, or people like the Eternal Champion aspects that are average started up here on every plane of existence as a central member of this conflict, right? For you folks. So that's what's happening, and that's who these people are. And for example, the game Dungeons and Dragons, heavily influential from this, and lots of modern fantasy heavily influential from that. He's actually listed in Appendix N by Gary Gygax in this work. One of the key influences on that game in 1979. So there you are. I'll go ahead and leave you to it. Again, I'm giving this a 7 out of 10. Have you read it? If so, what did you think about it? Let's talk about it in the comments below. If you enjoyed this, why not hit that subscribe button? There's going to be a lot more of these to follow. And then finally, I want to thank you so much for taking some time out of your day and investing it and watching my video. We all have so many things that are happening in our lives, and we're pulled in so many different directions. So the fact that you spent this time with me, that's incredibly humbling, and I appreciate it. So thanks again, and have a amazing day.